I just found out my wife had an affair 5 years ago and that my son isn't biologically mine.
That's rough, buddy.
So 2 weeks ago, I found out that my 5-year-old son isn't biologically mine. I feel so hurt and betrayed that my wife of 6 years relationship for 9 cheated on me and even got pregnant by another man. I took a paternity test without telling my wife. By the way, this comes from throwaway 47261717. And if you want to submit your own stories, please submit them at r/OK Storytime subreddit. So immediately, I confronted my wife and called her a whore.
Oh, dang. He's wasting no time.
In my anger and many other names. She started crying and explained that she hid it because she didn't want to break our happy family of 3. I asked her why she did cheat on me. She explained we had a very nasty argument back in the day, so she hooked up with someone and it was just one-time fling and has been loyal to me ever since.
Loyalty would have been telling him, not keeping it a secret for 5 years.
She said she had doubts that I wouldn't be the father, but she never took the paternity test and said she was happy seeing me happy and didn't want to go with the termination for peace of our family and didn't tell me the truth. I told her I am divorcing and I don't want to be in our son's life. She started crying and begging me not to break the family and that I am still his father. I have been a wonderful father and a husband. I should forgive her and don't let DNA, in air quotes, destroy our lives, and started begging me. I immediately left and she was blowing up my phone. I decided at first not to tell anyone else, but in the end, I got very angry and decided to tell everyone. Everyone is pissed at my wife. I say if something like this happens, you say it to everyone.
So that they can't say that you cheated.
Her parents said they want nothing to do with their daughter and cut contact. My sister furiously called my soon-to-be ex and cursed her out. Her brother and sister, on the other hand, said I have humiliated my soon-to-be ex and shouldn't have told everyone and should have kept it between us. Yesterday, her sister called me and said I need to take her back and come back for my son. I said, I don't have one. She got angry and started cursing me and said, I'm a weak, pathetic man. No wonder my wife cheated on me. And I am so pathetic, I had to go behind my wife's back to take a paternity test because I am insecure and weak that I am giving up on my son. And just because we don't share blood, and I am the reason my wife is alone and depressed. I cut her call instead. I called her husband and told him everything. I said that family's full of nut jobs. Maybe it runs in their blood. You should take a paternity as well and don't trust those itches. Oh. He said he's sorry on his wife's behalf and we ended the call. Now I'm ignoring all my wife and that itches calls.
I just feel really bad for the kid. This poor 5-year-old who's losing everyone in his family.
I decided to do a paternity because my sister asked me to. She asked me multiple times, but I brushed it off. I never, ever thought of my wife to cheat on me, let alone getting pregnant by another man. My sister is my best friend and has always looked out for me. She said I should do a paternity test because my son doesn't look like me at all. I said he looks like his mom, but she forced me, and I'm glad she did. She was so heartbroken seeing me cry on her and angry at my wife. I must have hugged her for hours and cried because I truly loved my son, but he reminded me of my wife's cheating and made my pain worse. Hot take, you know what? I'll say it. You Facebook people can get mad at me. Gut me for all I care. This is when we learn to forgive others. This is a tremendous and horrible mistake that happened. Not mistake, but thing that happened. Understand? But you gotta learn forgiveness so you can take your son in.
Divorce her. Divorce your wife.
Dude, I'd be praying. I'd be asking for God's help on this one too. For the kid. This is beyond you, but you have to do this for the kid. You can't abandon the kid just because of something your wife did. Anyway, after reading some comments about how my son is a victim just like me and all of this, I decided not to cut him off completely right away because it might mentally scar him. I called my wife and she picked my call right away. I said I'm coming over to meet my son. She cried and said she's glad I am coming over. I asked her if the itch is still with her. She said she is. I asked her to tell her not to talk to me, otherwise I'll punch her filthy mouth.
Oh, I don't like that. No.
She said itch will not interact with me. When my son saw me, he was very happy. He instantly hugged me. He asked me where I was for so long. I picked him up and said I was working. I played with him for an hour and gently explained to him that I will be away frequently, but will visit you and be in contact. He didn't like the news, so to cheer him up, I said I will prepare a very good surprise for his birthday. Not sure what I'm going to do, but I'll figure it out. It's in December, so I'll figure something out. Anyway, after he went outside to play, I talked to my wife. My wife instantly latched onto me and hugged me and started crying. She asked me to come back to her, not to give up on our son and on her over a mistake. She wanted to terminate, but she didn't because I was happy and she's been loyal to me ever since then. Okay, that's what I don't like is she's like, you were happy so I didn't terminate and I've been loyal ever since then.
The thing is, at the end of the day, not only did you cheat, you lied about it. So you weren't loyal. Like lying about something that big, not loyalty. It doesn't matter if you didn't continue to do it.
Yeah.
You were disloyal for 5 years because you didn't own up to that mistake.
I even got more angry and grabbed her arm and yelled at her that she destroyed me and her son's lives. When he finds out the truth, he won't love you as much as he loves you now. I came to you every single night. Where did it all go? But a random man and you once and you got pregnant? We both know I'm not infertile. I told her I wanted to tell every single person about the truth. Your friends, your family, your friend's friend, the whole effing neighborhood, and every single one of her family members, even if they live in effing China, even to those you haven't talked to in years, and every single one of your future partners. She started crying and shaking. I told her I won't, and I wanted to exact my vengeance upon her, but if I do it, it will hurt the innocent child and ruin him. I said, do not misunderstand. I am doing it for him, not for you. She said I am the love of her life, and she can't live without me, and she will wait until I calm down, and she will fight for me. She will not let her family break just because of a mistake she made, and she will give me as many kids as I want, and she herself will do a paternity test, and she started kissing me and my face desperately. I pushed her and said, you are delusional. You're acting as if you ruined my car or something. I would have forgiven you for anything else, but this is a betrayal to your husband and your own child. I yelled at that filthy itch of a sister to get her professional help. She's going crazy. Before she could say anything, I left because I want her to be as mad as she can possibly get.
Man, dude.
Everyone's the a-hole here.
You gotta go to therapy.
Anger management.
This is not good. Like, obviously, this is a really intense situation, but like, not a good way to handle it.
There's two things here. Would have been better if he left and didn't come back for the son. Because if he interacts with the mom like this, he will scar the son.
Absolutely. He's calling people bees. The thing is, if you are going to be in your son's life, if you realize, you know what, I do want to be in his son's life, you're going to have to figure out how to interact with his mom in a way that is respectful, regardless of your feelings and emotions for her. Right as they are, like you can be angry, but you cannot express that physically or, you know, shouting at her. That's just not going to work.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. After I came back, I sent a text to my wife that I will be visiting her for my son frequently, but I'm only thinking about him and nothing else. And don't make it all worse than it already is. Think about him and be a good mother. I'm now living with my sister, and she has given me full support and hugs me until I calm down, even if it takes me hours. I will start divorce proceedings, and I am his father, so it's likely I will escape child support. And even if I do have a moral obligation to be in his life, and with the effing whore, both sisters are a-holes, maybe it runs in their blood. And we got an update. Maybe this guy cools down.
Dude, this is why people are calling you misogynistic in the comments.
Who knows? Goodness gracious.
This is also like, this is not him, you know, right after. This is him typing this out. So like he's taking a minute.
Update 2. It's been a month since I found out that my son isn't mine. I sought therapy. I love my son even though he isn't mine biologically, but I love him. I always did and always will. In my anger, I called names to my wife, which I didn't want to, but she betrayed me. And my sister-in-law, she definitely deserved it because she called me weak and treated me like crap after I found out the truth. I realized that it's better if I just make peace with everyone after lots of sessions.
Therapist.
This guy did calm down.
He's like, I probably shouldn't have done that. Even though they deserved it. I probably shouldn't do that going forward.
Yeah. And be in my kid's life. I don't know why I'm getting angry messages about how I went too far and my situation is fake and I should forgive my wife. Well, I agree. I was angry because it's a betrayal worse than cheating. In any case, I am posting once again because I truly tried my best. I discussed with my sister-in-law. Thankfully, she wasn't hostile. We apologized to each other and we still don't like each other, but that's okay.
That's okay. You don't have to like her. You just have to be able to speak with her without calling her an itch.
That's nice. I like this. I visit my home every few days. My sister-in-law and my wife and my son live in my house. I'm tolerating it all because of my child, and I just want a clean divorce from my wife. My wife would always hug me. I stopped pushing her away because it never worked. I just let her hug me and let her vent. She keeps venting about how sorry she is and wants me back, but I always told her that I'm here for my son. She cries, but doesn't say much in front of our son, thankfully. But 3 days ago, when I visited my son to spend time with him, I absolutely adore him. He always gets excited whenever I come back to meet him. I told my wife that I've hired a lawyer in my son's absence, of course. My wife freaked out and said I shouldn't split our family apart because she said my son might not have my DNA, but he's my son and she's my wife, and we can make it work and live happily. And she'll give me as many children as I want.
Girlie, no. What? This is weird. That would annoy me. It's like, OP is still saying that he wants to be in his kid's life now. He's not splitting the family apart. You did that. Like, this woman did that. No, I would just say, because I don't want OP to like lash out again. But I would say, hey, like, you need to stop. You should go to therapy. We're not getting back together. I want to continue to be in our son's life, and we need to figure out a way to move forward as co-parents. Yeah. And maybe that's like, kind of a couples counseling kind of thing, but not for the purpose of getting back together, but for co-parenting.
Yeah.
Because it is very frustrating for him to continue to try and put it on you when she made the mistake.
I left after she vented. I am still angry at my wife and my sister-in-law, but I am in control of my anger. Her family kept calling me and telling me that I should give my wife another chance and I should be a good husband and she will be a good wife to me. But when I refused, they said there's a chance I won't be able to see my son, which got me scared. I love my son even though he isn't mine and he loves me as I am his father. But what if I'm not allowed to see him? What if they flip the situation? That's what I'm worried about. It's not about me, but the child's mental health. And I fear that they are weaponizing it, and I don't want that. Am I the a-hole if I stay with my wife for my son and help him? And update 3.
I don't think that you have to worry about, from what I know about other stories, you should probably be fine in terms of custody because I'm assuming that you're on the birth certificate. Yeah. And you've been here for 5 years. So I'm assuming you'll be fine in that. Like, they probably, that should work in your favor. Don't let them convince you. Talk to a lawyer, I would say. See what your options are, because you can probably still have custody of your son because of the birth certificate situation.
Exactly. Update 3. Not going to lie, it's been a rough couple of months. I wanted to just run away from all of this, even abandon my son, even though he isn't mine. But I didn't want to suffer, so I tried. Since then, I visit him a lot. I moved out, but I kept visiting him. But my wife would try her best to make me stay, and her a-hole sister is no joke, but I tolerate it all for my son. But this Christmas, after I celebrated it with my son, my wife and her sister and her family sat me down to talk. They wanted me to reconcile, but not give up on my family. My wife said she made a mistake years ago and there's nothing she can do to change it, and she wants to stay with me. I told her that that isn't possible and I'm doing all of this for him, not for you or any of you. But they all said that they have been living peacefully and I have a loving family. I love my son even though he isn't mine, and I should not break the family. Instead, take my time and forgive my wife and live like we were living before. Past is past, and I should forgive her because she's been faithful to me ever since, and she will give me my own child. After all that they said, I decided there's nothing else I can do. I told them all that what my wife did is betrayal. Not just cheating, but making me raise another man's son. I tried my best not to complicate and thought I did everything for my son. And we could do more for you if you come to wherever you listen to podcasts and check us out. Just type OK Storytime in the search bar on Apple, Spotify, wherever you listen to podcasts, and check us out there. But it seems like he's folding here. Got a lot of pressure.
I know. I'm like, no, dude, go talk to a lawyer. Go talk to a therapist. Don't let them pressure you into doing something that is not right for you or the kid, honestly.
Yeah, facts. I told them that I'm leaving and filing for divorce and giving up on my son, and I left. They tried to stop me and still send me texts and calls me, but I ignore them. I've decided to file, talk to a lawyer. My stance is either that I get full custody of him or I give up on him. I am not really concerned about child support, but it's kind of painful for me. I tried my best to give my son a better life, even though he isn't mine, and wanted him to have both parents in his life, but she's making it difficult. If he ever needs my help or wants to reconnect with me, I will help him. I already know that most likely the custody is going to his mother. And it's
like, he's like, I can't do 50-50 at all because I don't want to be in her life at all. He's probably not going to get full custody. If anything, we get 50-50.